Okay, so in this video, I'm going to be talking about textile density. So by now, we should know what textile density means. Okay, so if you're not sure, I already put up some article that cover more about the textile density. Okay, so we've covered this before back in year 1, but if you forget, we already upload some article for you to read. Okay, now in basic, so when you're creating like, or when you UV, your model, is that you need to have like same amount of textile density throughout the model. So meaning that all the checker pattern, right, in your scene should be roughly the same with this neighboring friend. Okay, so in this example, right, so the sphere checker pattern and the plane checker pattern is roughly the same. So the textile density for these two objects is okay. Okay, so you don't want a case where the UV, let's say the UV for this sphere, like it's very tiny. Okay, and then like the plane, it's still quite big. Okay, so if we do this will result the texture will have a higher resolution for the sphere, but as for the ground, it will have a lower resolution texture. And then when you render, you're gonna see like inconsistency throughout your texturing stage. Okay, so this is something that you don't want. Okay, that's why like the textile density matters a lot when you do your UV. Okay, so that's the basic of textile density. Now, the problem is actually arise when you do like have a small object, and at the same time you also have like a bigger object or large object in the environment. Okay, so I'm gonna select this guy and select one of the wall. Now, as you can see, right, in my UV, so this is my UV for the wood plane. Okay, so it's within the box of 0, 0 and all the way to 1.1, which is this first box there. Okay, so all the UV is good, everything is okay. But when it comes to the large object, which in this case is a wall, right? If you look at my UV, all right, the UV map is actually more than a boundary. Okay, so that's when the problem actually arises. Okay, because if you try to output this or you try to export this UV map, it will actually get cropped, right? It will only export this one. Okay, so this UV map will have trouble, okay, because it's bigger than the boundary box. Now, again, there are a lot of methods to kind of like approach this issue. So maybe you can try to shrink it again, right, in a way so everything will be in a ratio. But then again, if you shrink, okay, so this guy can also be shrink. But if you shrink the wall, then the UV for the wood plane also need to be shrink, because again, everything need to be in a ratio. Okay, and that can result in like a very low res texture for the wood plane or for all the small part of the object. Okay, so this approach may not be a good idea. Okay, so I'm gonna undo this. Okay, so how do we go with this? Okay, so there are a few approaches. So one of my approach is that we try to use like two different UV sets. Okay, so let's go to Photoshop and understand the concept a little bit more. Okay, so let's say you have the big object, right? So this is your wall, right? Or this is your huge object. Okay, this all the way to Alright, this is your huge object, and we're trying to create like 2 UV set. Okay, so we got 2 UV. Right, so this is going to be the first UV set. Okay, UV set 1, and there is another UV set. Okay, now the first UV set will actually have the big UV map, okay, like this one. So we're gonna leave it in its correct size. Okay, as you can see, like this is the correct size for the wall, because the ratio with this, okay, I have to undo this a little bit more. Maybe it was in this size, yeah, and now the checker pattern is roughly the same. Okay, so this is the correct UV size for the wall. Okay, so I'm gonna set that in the first UV set. Okay, because in Maya, one object can have more than one UV set. Okay, so this is the UV set 1 for the wall. Now, the other UV set is that we're going to shrink, right? So this wall UV actually will fit into the boundary. Okay, so as you can see, like the result, right, it's very different from the previous UV map. Okay, because we shrink the UV, the checker pattern is getting bigger. Okay, but again, we need this UV so we can export the UV to other texturing software. Then we can paint the texture as we need it. Okay, so this is for the normal, or this is for the normal one. For the one that is within the 0 to 0.1, within the boundary of this box. And the first one, it's the huge one, the one that we do. So we're gonna have like 2 UV set. Now, for this to be able to work, we need 3 different texture. So I want to make this bigger. Okay, so I'm going to use a brick texture. So I'm going to use brick texture, and on top of the brick texture, I'm going to put some dirt. Okay, so going back here, I'm going to use brick. Okay, and I'm going to use a seamless texture. Okay, so all the brick will be seamlessly repeated in that UV map. Okay, so that's my concept. Then on top of the brick, I'm going to use dirt. Alright, a dirt texture, and this is non-seamless. Right, so meaning that there's going to be a spot here maybe of the dirt, there's going to be a spot there of the dirt, there's going to be a spot, so it's very unique, so it's not repeated. Okay, it may be like more dirt on this part of the wall. Okay, so this is something that you have to do like manually, because all the spot of the dirt is unique. Okay, and then we're gonna need like one more map. Okay, you call it dirt alpha. Right, so basically this dirt alpha is just a black and white picture that indicate like where the dirt position are supposed to be in that wall. Okay, so this is just a black and white picture. Okay, so we have like one JPEG or PNG file, and we have like one dirt file, and we have like one dirt alpha file. So we need like these 3 files. Okay, and then for this particular file, we're going to put that into a different UV set, and in this file we're going to put in this different UV set. Okay, now so once you put the file into places, again we need to do like something. We have to combine, right? So we're gonna combine the brick because we have this brick. Okay, this is the brick, right? And some of the dirt being placed on the top of this, and we're going to use this special node called layered texture inside Maya to combine both of the JPEG, so then this will appear in your viewport. Okay, so that's the idea of doing this like texturing method. Okay, to tackle the textile density issue. So we have like two different UV sets for it. Okay, so that's the concept.